Hello and welcome to another Huns History Nest podcast, where history is enjoyed and salvaged forever. Welcome to the podcast on log cabin politics and manifest destiny. This will be the first of what will be several podcasts on this topic. We begin with the presidential election of 1836. In this presidential election, Martin Van Buren was the Democratic candidate, and this is primarily due to the fact that Andrew Jackson, the President of the United States prior to him, is stepping down in keeping with the George Washington tradition of only being president for 2 consecutive terms. One thing to notice here in this presidential election is that there's no Republican Party. We have the Whigs, and the Whig Party basically gaining momentum from individuals such as Daniel Webster, and one not seen here would be an individual by the name of Henry Clay, and we will see him in presidential elections to come. But ultimately, the Whig Party, as we can see here, with 4 candidates, this typically means that there's some unorganization in the party structure, and Martin Van Buren wins the presidential election really with quite ease. During this time period, we have in the United States of America a sense of manifest destiny. And this idea of manifest destiny was really coined or created in terms of a phrase by this person over here, John Lewis O'Sullivan. And really what this is an idea that the United States had a certain God-given right to expand westward. This idea of manifest destiny could also be perhaps an extension of the Monroe Doctrine dating back to 1823. Created by John Quincy Adams, this literature really is an extension of continentalism, the idea that we are destined to control North America. Perhaps one of the most impressive paintings describing this idea of manifest destiny is seen here, and we see here Miss Liberty, and she is, of course, going westward. And by going westward, we'll also notice all of the things in the paintings. We have American industrialism in the railroad, the train. We have rivers and steam engines. We have settlers. We have individuals, mountain men, all moving west. The other thing that I want you to notice in this painting, though, is that here on the left we have the buffalo moving west. We have the Native Americans, and they're kind of being moved right off the painting canvas itself. The other thing that is very vital to understand in here is that you'll notice the background, that we go from wherever America has been, there is light, and wherever we're going, we are fixing the darkness and bringing the light with us. So this painting kind of gives you an illustration further as to this idea of manifest destiny. American expansionism westward and even into the Southwest, we're going to go back a little bit here and provide a little bit of history about the settlement of Texas. And this really begins back in 1821, and it was a family, the Austin family, Stephen and Moses Austin, who first gained an empresario grant from the nation of Spain. And this grant gave them, as seen here, some property in what is today's area of Texas. And they began to create a settlement here. They were allowed to bring with them slaves. They were allowed to begin growing cotton, and they even established their first police group, the Texas Rangers. A very successful settlement begins in Texas. The success of Texas will come, though, however, during a very tenuous time in Spanish history, and Texas, as seen here on the map, was part of a bigger issue, and that's going to be the independence of the Mexican people. And this is going to, as we'll see in our next podcast, really change what's going to happen in this area, and much of it stems from slavery.